did, you want to talk?
Yes, we are here, Seniors for Justice, and we want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
see the tapes of Andrew Brown. We also wanted you to see about getting rid of those sheriffs.
Okay.
I mean, not the sheriff, but
The deputies, I understand.
deputies,
I understand.
that they need to, step down.
Okay.
I know you're saying okay, but we are serious about it.
I hear what you're saying. The tapes is still in the possession of the judges. We filed a petition. We have not heard nothing back yet. So I can't, that's a question for the judges. We filed a petition. I filed it not once but twice for them to release everything. So I have no authority over that tape whatsoever. I have no legal authority, none. I did what the law allowed me to do twice, and I can't do nothing about that.
But you saw the tapes from the beginning. Because how did you?
I have seen the tape, yes.
Yes. So how did you decide that those deputies were innocent?
I can't.
You saw the tape from the beginning.
So just to let you know, because I know the community has a lot of questions about what's going on, but because of the civil litigation, my attorney, I cannot talk about anything to do with this case. Nothing. I cannot talk about it because of civil litigation that has been filed.
The next thing is, why did you pull your people from protecting us as we walked out there?
I didn't have any people left. I did not pull my people because I didn't want to protect anybody. That is not true. I pulled the people because I was 10 down and the deputies been working 7 days a week and I had no personnel left. I had no personnel left to put up there on the street for the protest. It had nothing to do with the protest. I'll be glad to work protests, but I ran out of personnel. And we've had several people that have left since then, and didn't have enough people.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't really relate to the case, so I think we're okay. I'm new to this town. My folks are from here, but I moved here in 2017, and I've watched some things happening. But with this particular case, only thing I want to know is, okay, I'm for getting the crap off the street.
Yes, ma'am.
Drug dealers, guns, all of that. My question and concern is, I read some things, statements that you made about, okay, our mission was to serve an arrest warrant, to apprehend. My question is, did we serve an arrest warrant? Did we apprehend? Did we get any of the drugs off the street? Did you get the supplier even? Those are my questions. These are concerns that I have, because you look around and you say, we still got the same problem. So, really.
I do agree that there still is a lot of drugs in this area on the street. However, you're gonna get sick of me saying this, but I can't answer those questions. I don't know if they're gonna make the civil case public, where people can see what's going on, but a lot of that information will be divulged at that time.
But the first two questions I asked, those are easy. Did the arrest warrant get served? Did you apprehend your suspect? Because it seems to me that none of that happened. We got a whole new issue now, a bigger problem than what we had.
Yeah. I understand your question. I see what you're getting at with the apprehension of the suspect that had the warrants for him. But I can't go into detail
I understand
about that.
Yeah,
Trust me, I want to, because I'm ready for this community to get back together and to heal and try the best we can together to move forward from this. And it's really hard for me to do that when the attorneys won't let me say nothing, when I don't have the legal authority over the tapes at all. The only legal authority the sheriff has is to file a petition. That's where it is. And I did that twice.
Difficult?
Ma'am?
Does it make your job a little difficult? When I say
it makes it difficult. My biggest thing is
from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not being able to come together because of civil litigation that's going to last up to 2 years possibly. So you know, we're still just trying to function as a sheriff's office to continue to provide the services we're supposed to provide and move forward. It is rough. I am getting back out in the community. I didn't want to do it right away, but I am getting back out in the community. We have a couple of events coming up, and we're gonna push forward. We're still having in our mind not forget what happened, but try to push forward. And I'm gonna fight for this community to come back together, whatever it takes. Whether people like me or don't like me, I'm gonna fight for this community to come back together.
Is that something you really want?
Absolutely, absolutely.
On that note, then, as you know, we petitioned the county commissioners to create a CRC.
Yes,
Would you be in favor?
we're already, that's already in the works.
With, you lost me when it's already.
It's, putting the community, the committee advisory board.
Review.
It's all, yes, it's already in the works.
Well, who's at the table?
Yes, sir.
No, it hasn't got to the table yet, but it's being planned right now to get it to the table to start.
Well, I mean, it's already in with the county commissioners. The letter was sent to conduct a meeting.
Yes, and I think the agenda minutes said that they pushed it to August
Till
16th.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is that the commissioners don't have the legal authority
Well,
to
see,
have that board.
well, if the letter that was written said to conduct a meeting, okay, and that was to bring, the different entities to the table, because integrity and trust is at the same thing. We have the facts that we know, man shot in the back of the head. Your policies are about it. I mean, I know it's under the legal and all that other good stuff, but they violated your 300 policy of the deadly force. That you can't even shoot into a car to disable it. They're supposed to move out of the way of a moving vehicle. If there are any other officers there, they're even to intercede. I think there's a part of your policy that talks about interceding, that they should report it as soon as possible. That they're to even engage another officer that is not following the policy. That's Pastor Tank's policy, your policy.
Yes, I'm aware.
And these persons and the violation of these policies resulted in a homicide. And that's according to the autopsy report. We know that the man was shot in the back of the head, but yet they are back at work. I'm a black man living in this country. I'm a black man that has served in the United States military. I'm raising my family, and we know that there are people that violate a policy. I am an executive director. I am a manager. And if one or two are allowed to circumvent a policy, then what good is the policy? Okay, so
Now,
this has nothing
you
to do-
went to policy. Well, let's go back to your
Right,
first
we're gonna
question.
get back to CRC. So, and I said that to say, trust and integrity in your department is not there. You can't build trust and you put your people at the table of who you think should be on a review commission. There has to be,
I'm not gonna, I know,
I'm talking about the advisory
I'm not
board.
gonna pick the people. That's not gonna
if you're
happen.
advisable, so if the NAACP is not at the table, if Ms. Morrison, who represents the seniors, are not at the table, if none of these people are at the table, not invited, but if we're not there to plan the menu, then it's not gonna do anything. It's just another token effort. The same way the tapes were, it was a shell game. You had custody out of the game, but I know you can't talk about it, but in the initial, you had custody, you said state bureau came back. It's a shell game, so we won't even get into whether or not, yes, we already knew once they filed the courts, but the courts had already ruled before everybody filed a passport. DA had already told people that he wasn't gonna release it, that's when he filed, but anyway, it's a shell game, okay? So I'm aware that everybody else might not understand that, but I do. So we're back to the CRC, which is the Community Review Commission. Okay, Sheriff's Department set up board, and the county commissioners can set up like again, they're playing a shell game. We never asked for that. We know that no elected body can have authority over another elected body. We know that. But that's the first thing they went at. If you read the letter, That was never asked for in the letter. The letter was asked for a meeting to set up a review commission where people can come and voice their complaints.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with authority over the sheriff's department.
Right.
Okay? And we all know that, first of all, no, even a sheriff's advisory committee does not have any authority, even if you got one for the city, unless they got subpoena power. You still can't investigate it without subpoena power. See, I know this.
Yeah, and most
And
boards don't have it.
and I hear the shell game. So, but if we are gonna rebuild, okay, if we are gonna build a community, then it has to be for the county commissioners, the sheriff's department, to start adhering to some things that we want, that we can see where you make, not dictated to us. You know, we were told that when we sent the letter in, why would you use the word our demand? What county that you gonna tell me, oh, so I should be a good little Negro and stay in my place because you don't demand nothing? Because the atmosphere of this city right now is in turmoil. It may look like people are scattered, it doesn't look like there's many marches out here, but the world is still watching to what we do. You know, and I'll never forget at Black Lives Matter, when you stood and held yourself. I said, call me, and then you went ghost. You went ghost. You went ghost. That's not leadership. If I don't know nothing else in this world, I know leadership. Leadership means that you make a decision and you stand accountable for your decision. You made a decision to let your police officers or your sheriff's deputies come back to work after they violated your policy. We know that. Your policy doesn't lie. It's written right there in the 300. I've almost got it memorized. I mean, you even went so good in your policy to go against state and North Carolina for fleeing victims. You all may not know that if you're fleeing, you're in custody, they can shoot you. This sheriff's department said, we're not going to do that in Pasquotank County. Y'all are not even to shoot. You went as far to write in your policy that if a person in custody or fleeing convict flees, that your deputies are not to shoot them. That went against state policy. But yet, you wrote in your policy that if a car is being used as a weapon, they are to move out of the way, and that they're not even to shoot in the car to disable it. You also went as far in your policy to say, if you see another deputy doing something wrong, that you stop them and report it when it comes to deadly force. But you yourself, after you wrote the policies, you told the folks, come back to work. What kind of integrity is that? If you look at what it takes to remove the sheriff, it says alcohol. You go out and get a DWI, that's something that you can take to court to have a sheriff removed. Because why? It's built on integrity. So you have deputies that violate your policy. They're back at work, so you chose not to enforce your policy. Now we're talking about rebuilding, because that's really what a CRC does, or Sheriff's Advisory Commission. That's part of rebuilding. But nobody else is included. And it's already in the works. But we're not at the table of planning. What's wrong with coming to
No, wait a minute, because I never said it's, you weren't invited to the table because we haven't got to that point yet.
But don't you think it's time to get to that point?
It's gonna get to that point.
All it takes is one thing to happen that starts a chain reaction. So far, this community has withstood everything that it's supposed to do. Why can't you show up Monday night at the county commissioners meeting and tell them that, look, don't disapprove it. Let's get in this room. We're gonna rebuild. Okay? But for most people, those deputies gonna be reviewed. Because how are they gonna stop me? How are they gonna stop me? So they're gonna stop me. What do you think I would feel if they stopped me? Or they stop some of the young black men. Or they stop somebody that doesn't say yes sir or no sir. What kind of protection are they gonna have for them, themselves, as well as that? You know, body cameras. You know, if everybody has them on, took us till 2020 before the Sheriff's Department ever got body cameras. You know, this Sheriff's Department has had people before you Yet DWIs will still remain in the department. So it's not things that have gone unscathed. There are incidents in Weeksville. Everybody knows about what happened to the young kids. Okay, so integrity is everything here, and now we hear some of the results of a person dead. Nobody talks, everybody's under this, everybody's under that. So I think the beginning is to show up Monday night at the county commissioners meeting. And to stand on the back of building a community review commission. And everybody at the table figuring out what type of structure that this and what the goals are and where to accomplish this. Versus you standing at, I mean, you know, just like when you didn't meet with the community, but you went and found the 5 or 6 people and y'all held a meeting at a church. Okay? And then you go over video. The structure where these people were came in and said, we saw something that was on a video that felt threatening. Okay? And then you turn around and file criminal summons against me. Right now, we have a young lady that did the same thing with my brother and I. The same thing. The police done the report. I wasn't even in the country. Now, we could very easily go after her. We could very easily. The police department didn't turn around and file charges on her. They done a full investigation. You ain't heard about that in the press. I was at the scene. I asked to see you because it was going south. I was there trying to kind of keep everybody else in there. You came look at me and Sean left. But yet you say, let's build trust. No, it has to start with us and you all giving us something on our terms. On our terms. That's where this has to start. And I think the first step can be Monday night. Show up at the county commissioners meeting. Okay? Then from there, let's move forward with this CRC. And I think that's the beginning. You being here right now is the beginning.
Yeah,
Because normally I wouldn't even say anything. Because Ms. Morrison, I'm just here to support my seniors. But you just coming is the beginning. I mean, it's so far from the end. Firing those deputies, I mean, there's nothing short of firing those deputies. There's nothing short of that because their integrity has been lost. I mean, they can't effectively do their job. They cannot effectively do their job. I mean, that's just, that's, and for you, I don't understand why you didn't enforce your own policies. I mean, I never thought that you would not have enforced your policies. And you know, that, you need to enforce it. They've already done it. So what happens the next time do they get a break? And you gotta remember, one of y'all boots went in the man's across the street. Okay? 8:30 in the morning. Now we find out that the arrest warrant wasn't even signed. You never talk about it. I mean, it's in the deposition. It wasn't even signed. You all didn't do what you normally do, which is let the police department know that you're serving warrant. Okay, but you know, that's command thing. You know, these are just the things that
trust me,
never.
because there's a lot of things that you said that I got answers for that you would be very enlightened that I kept that they will not let me talk about. Because half of what you're asking and saying is not true.
So
I can promise you it's not true.
Well, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals will rule on it. But anyway,
No, I'm talking about factual stuff about the case that I can't talk about, but there are answers is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not arguing that you're saying anything wrong. I'm saying there's answers to a lot of what you're
But we know
saying.
that bullet went in Gordon's house, through the wall, over to the in the house. I'm just saying, so all of these are things that are swelling in the community. Now, how do we move forward? Well, the good start is, police officers, y'all need to have a nice day. I mean, it is. They violated your policy. I mean, we can see that from the tape. Okay? Another place is the CRC. That's a beginning. That's a beginning.
So the two focuses. One focus is the CRC. So that's a focus now. When the civil litigation and all that stuff is complete, that's when that second focus comes into play.
Okay.
And that's the time that I'm hoping when it's all over, that my attorney will look at me and say, put it out. And I can't wait to do that. As you saw when I filed that petition, I filed immediately to release the entire tapes. And I know what you're saying about the shell game. I can't debate that with you. I can't. You can't debate that with somebody. But you know, I did it. So I'm hoping that second focus will come sooner than later. I hope it don't take 2 years, because no one in this entire community wants to wait that long to see what's going to transpire. So, but I have no authority over the court. You know that. So it's kind of a waiting game now to see what's going to happen with the civil litigation.
And if you would show up Monday night and tell the commissioners, let's put this together. The Department of Justice will come down and they will help mediate this. Okay? This is what we're talking about. But again, the county commissioners are doing exactly what they want to do. They're taking something that we never even wrote, we never even asked for authority. Read the letter. It will show you the NAACP requests a meeting be set up with other community organizations to create a community review commission. Nothing in there about them having authority. They took that because, again, that's that shell game. That's the way to paint the picture that we don't have to do it. Then it's not rebuilding the community. It's simply, again, the community will get rebuilt if you do what I say do. Yeah, go ahead.
Those are some squeaky boots.
So,
One more question.
Yeah, so I think if you showed up, and if you said it, I think they would go with it. And the deal, the Department of Justice already.
I've talked to Mr. Lyons. I've already been in contact with Mr. Lyons with DOJ. Everything has to be done, and timing is key. So I've been in contact. I think his first name is Dion. I've been in contact with him. We did play phone tag for like a month, but I was able to get in contact with him, and I actually talked to his boss, Akers, the new U.S. attorney. I think he was appointed. So I've been doing all these things behind the scenes. It's difficult for me to get out and talk to each one of y'all like I want to. I mean, I've talked to you a bunch. You know, we're not strangers. So that is difficult. I will agree with you that we're standing by when no one knows what's going on. And but I can assure you that we are working behind the scenes. That is the CRC is definitely in consideration. In my mind, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with
And I think that would be the beginning to tell the commissioner, don't take it. Or put it together, that you would be in favor of putting it, and everybody would be at the table.
I think the biggest thing with the commissioners, it's not that you, when we talk about you all having authority over the board, so it's the commissioners forming that board with other entities. I'm not sure if the committee that's in their realm.
Well,
Is what they're saying.
they already have a community relations commission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, that's there.
Yeah.
But it's never been one where we've seen,
But I can tell you, I've talked to the commissioners, and they're not opposed to it.
well, they're sure not in the February. And I'm gonna give them that face value, because we have until the 16th, it was tabled until Monday.
Yeah, they tell you what they got to. I know the county; they're all working on it. You know, they want to make. They got to go through all the legal process and all that type of stuff. The only thing I can assume, because I haven't talked to the county manager about that particular issue, but I know reading the minutes because I get the emails that it was pushed to August 16th. But yes, that will be taken into consideration. Me showing up, advocating for a community, a committee, a review board.
Right. And we can start from there and building a structure.
Absolutely.
And I think if you have people at the table, who are concerned, I mean, the demand that those deputies be fired is still not going away. I mean, that's just, I mean, I can't understand it. You know, I ran nursing homes for a long time, and there's no way I could have a person. I mean, I fired a gentleman who picked the resident up and carried his room. The resident was being combative. So to keep him from doing another, he picked that man up and carried that man to his room. When he carried that man to his room, he had to grab the man's arms, because the man was swinging at him. When he grabbed his arms, that's what he did. He bruised his arms. When his father came, he violated my policy. take my policy. And then, as painful as it was, I had to let him go and file it to the state. Now, just to tell you, the state came back, did not take his license, but they did charge him saying, hey, you know, what you did was in violation of the policy. But they didn't take his license. However, he could come back to work because he followed my policy. And because now you imagine if I had kept that person there and the family members that came in and saw the bruises on their heads.
Yeah, that.
So
I agree.
when we look at here, and you got deputies working here, they shot a man in the back of the head.
And we're scared of them.
I mean,
We're scared of them.
That's a no-brainer to me from a management perspective. And with the climate of this country,
Mm.
and then the question's always going to be, if he was white, would we have gone into Riverside? We've gone into a predominantly white community. And nobody will know the answer to that because it hasn't occurred. But that question is always there. You know, did this man never got his day in court? And yet these people have missed a paycheck.
Mm.
That's my tax dollars.
Mm.
Right.
And that's, I mean, you got to build trust, and it's no different from me than taking care of people's loved ones. People put their loved ones in my communities because they trust that I'm going to do the right thing. And sometimes the right thing is the painful thing, but there's no reason to have policies in any organization that are not adhered to. And this one resulted in the death of Andrew Brown. So, I mean, I can't understand, to me this is a no-brainer.
And two things that, you know, because I can't talk about it. Trust me, I wish I could. Is rebuilding the community. The second thing is, first thing is, I have better answers, is what I want to say. Because this thing is just stopped everything from being able to move forward. That I 100% understand. And I want to have better answers for everybody. I'm hoping that maybe it'll get sooner than later. I hope it don't take 2 years, but that's the recommendation that we're getting. So, and the other thing is, I can tell you that Tommy Wooten's gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna do the right thing.
Can I say something? What about the young lady that used her vehicle to run some of our walkers down?
I didn't hear what.
Yeah, what do we have?
The young lady that used her vehicle to run some of our walkers down. You know the young lady.
Well, as far as I know, she was charged.
But this is what.
Yes, but
She was charged.
Let me ask you this question. What about people that you all filed a criminal summons on?
Oh, now that I can talk about.
I mean,
What question you have?
why would y'all go back? They came in and asked for, and I saw the screenshot, and it was sent to them on a screenshot, okay? And then it comes back later on that the whole thing says, no, let's get them fired instead.
Yes.
You all turn around and file a criminal summons on them.
Yes.
And then put their names out.
And then put the name.
Now putting someone's name out there that happens every week in the day of evidence. People's names and their block addresses, that's nothing unusual.
But why would you even charge them with a criminal summons? They came and asked.
Well,
for
when it was investigated, like they wanted, we had 12 people come in here, and each one of them gave a statement and filed a report. And at the end of their investigation, they determined that they filed a false police report.
Because now, I mean, I saw the screenshot.
They-
The screenshot said, let's get them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you investigated, you found out that it was more. And it says, let's get them fired. That's still a threat.
Sure, but I'm still on hold.
Okay? So, I mean, and what I'm saying
Let me give you
is,
my number, because I can't talk about that. I got to get this. Let me give you,
Real quick, I have a question.
hold on one second, I'm sorry.
It'll take 2 seconds though.
I'm listening.
Okay, you said step 1 is you want to build trust. Wouldn't building trust involve not filing criminal summonses on people who are confused and in danger?
I'm not sure what answer you're looking for.
can we drop those charges?
That's kind of open-ended
Can we
question.
drop those charges?
That's a good question, yes.
It's up to the judge. If he drops
Well, I mean,
someone, you know.
no, if you come in and say, hey, look, you tell the district attorney, let's drop them charges. That's a step in the right direction.
I have no issues considering that.
Because, I mean, they came in and filed a legitimate vote. I mean, just like now, the girl just filed a report on my brother and I. The police did a full investigation, found out that none of the stuff was so bogus, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but the police department didn't file no charges on her.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did was come in and say, hey, because the screenshot did say, let's get them. Then it goes down to say, when you all did the investigation, it comes back and said, let's get them fired instead. Well, that's still a threat, just not as severe, it's still a threat, okay? But I'm saying, what purpose does that serve to serve? And all of this happened when we said we're not gonna, pull your deputies off off the marchers, then they get fined. That's not building community trust.
Well, I just would hope that the community will understand that I literally have no deputies left.
No, we don't.
Okay.
So,
But then you-
until the county commissioners can give me more deputies, I have none left. So this is what would have happened to answer, if I would have continued, and I'll talk to you about it, because I know who's waiting for me. So, had I continued, you've been a manager, you know this, you continue to work your people 7 days a week with no days off. I'm already short, so people are working double shifts, 24 hours a day. Well, I can't do that.
Police department is doing the same thing.
So, no, they quit doing the protesters as well.
They quit way after.
Well, it was after, you're right, I agree.
They were overmanned too.
We would have had everybody leave, and then there would be no sheriff's office, so we wouldn't have enough
We did
deputies.
it purpose.
But
We did it purpose.
see, it's that you all got to start doing something that shows that everything that you were saying, that this is not in favor. Filing charges, that's just totally, that's out there. And a step in the right direction, because it's gonna serve no purpose, whether they go to court, whether they don't go to court. It just again shows the intent, and that's what we're dealing with here.
I'll tell you what I'll do, let me give you my number, because I gotta go get this, and I will be glad to talk to you about that.
Would you mind giving me your number as well?
252-339-2101.
I do community gun safety, gun responsibility training. I want to get us gun locks. I contact the sheriff's office and they say they're going to give me one. Do you have any influence over that where I can get several to give them out to the community?
Yeah, we get, matter of fact, when I first got in office, we gave them all away.
Do you got any more, so I can get some away today?
I will check, I don't think we have any more,
Okay.
because we give them out a lot. When
Gotcha.
people come in and get their concealed carries, a lot of, if we have one, we give them one.
Gotcha.
So they come in, they come in whenever we can order them, and we order some, sometimes it takes 2 months, now it takes 6 months to get
Yes,
it.
that's where we are. with
But
that. If you have any, who would I talk to?
you can rest in the front window, we'll keep that, their supplies in the back behind the building.
Okay.
Just ask them.
But we actually have a training, like, on an educated.
Mr. Wooten, I have one other statement. I don't know why I didn't bring this up before. Real quick, one of the big problems I have with something that's going on is, you have an elementary school over there.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen? How he shooting? And we got an elementary school nearby. Health department. But
I
you think about
understand.
that.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, this is crucial. Those are things that, and building trust and integrity, those are things. we need to
Those are
think
your
about.
numbers, what's your number?
Still the same.
It's still the same? Okay, all right.
Like I said, I just think two things to be moving forward.
Sheriff Wooten says you all have gun laws.
Send those charges, I mean, they're frivolous, those are frivolous, they serve no purpose.
As many as I can sound person.
With those people that filed those protests and stuff, the criminal summons that was in the, like, tell the district attorney, leave them alone. Okay, didn't start, those are law-abiding, those are people that have been peacefully protesting, and peacefully, nobody burned this city down. This city could have went up and make no mistake,
Could have had a big
make
situation.
no mistake.
Yeah, I'm
The,
glad it did.
the atmosphere, but yet then they come in and say, oh, with protection, they get a criminal summons. Well, that's not good faith. Okay, the CRC is a beginning. That's the beginning to moving forward. And then as we continue to move forward, we can start putting other things. But those are two things that you can do.
Well, I'm 100% with you on the CRC.
Thank you.
That's why, that's more than likely gonna happen.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you give, summons charges. Well, I mean, what purpose are they gonna say? These are people that peacefully protest. They came to you all. They came. They wouldn't have came, do you think they would have came in here and filed a false report? No, they came and asked for you all's help for protection. They came. And then they end up with a criminal summons for something that says, let's get them fired instead, which is still a minor form of threat. And then thinking about the climate. Those are some things that you can do on your part that start saying, okay, let's take Sheriff Wooten seriously. I mean, those are some things that can take.
Well, I tell you, because I do have to
Go ahead.
say that, it's hard for me to talk about it. No need for me to talk about it, but I tell you this, I'll prove it to you. Just stand by me, okay?
Okay.
Well, prove it to us would be.
Thank you.
To drop the
Yeah.
charges against them and to arrest your,
I'll prove you, I'll prove to you the trust and that I'm gonna do the right thing, I'll prove it to you.
Yeah, really.
Y'all have a blessing, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be calling you to get, okay, so we can talk.
Doesn't have keys to the own building. Come on. I thought you were the sheriff. Prediction, he will not be dropping the charges.